What is modern physics? Modern physics is a relatively new branch of physics, started in the early 20th century and is highly based on the works of Newton and Maxwell in classical physics of the era before. During the era of classical physics, physicists looked at physics as something that has been completely explored and advised the young scientists to focus on other branches of science because there's nothing left to explore in physics. The idea that physics is complete was challenged when the laws of classical physics were being applied to objects which are very tiny and objects which are at very high speeds. And this coincides with the newer studies which were happening in the early 20th century, which includes black body radiation, the finding of X-ray, and also the Mercury orbit. So as laws of classical physics starts breaking down when being applied to things which are very tiny and objects which are at higher speeds and high energies, physicists realized that a new generation of physics were needed to create whole new laws and whole new theories to explain these phenomena because the laws of classical physics do no longer fit. If you look at the timeline of understanding gravity, the laws of Newton on universal gravitation is still applied even today to calculate the trajectory of rockets and things like that. But during that era, the laws of Newton in classical physics were not enough to explain the peculiar phenomena such as the orbit of Mercury, which was not perfectly circular. So new laws and new theories such as Einstein's theory of general relativity helped to build on the knowledge and expand the understanding of gravity, which works better to explain these peculiar phenomena. There is also another aspect of modern physics, which is the quantum aspect, and how the classical mechanics laws do not work in very tiny and very discrete particles, and how laws of quantum mechanics by Heisenberg and Schrödinger much better suit the realm of the tiny and works to explain that sort of phenomenon. And that development in physics knowledge is what that became a branch known as modern physics.